Welcome to Private Club Radio, your weekly source for industry education, news and discussion. Broadcasting from Tampa, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Gabriel Aloisi.
Welcome to a very special episode of Private Club Radio where I am on location in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, learning all about the history of Mr. Arnold Palmer and his legacy that lives on here in Latrobe. I got to catch up with Don Emery and his assistant golf professional, John Beck, to chat about Arnie's legacy and what it means to the community here in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Don has been in huge markets like Los Angeles with Riviera and in Orlando at Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill, but Latrobe's a very different place. It's a small town of 8,000, about 40 miles outside of Pittsburgh. And I first asked him what makes a small market club unique. Here's what he had to say.
Everybody's connected. You need to really put out a product that's unique and authentic. But if you do something good, it goes all over town. If you do something bad, it goes all over town.
So this town's obviously very connected with Arnold Palmer, and we're sitting at a table where his picture's on the wall right next to us. He's all over the place. So why was he such a special person here?
You know, for me, I think it's the fact that not only did he grow up here, but the values that he learned, the hard work ethic, the firm handshake, the looking people in the eye, doing what you said you're going to do, came from his mom and dad, and now has been passed down to his daughter, Amy Palmer Saunders, who owns actually Bay Hill and Latrobe, and I think that's what makes Latrobe special, is a lot of people in Latrobe seem to have drank from the same well, learned the same things. It's part of America you don't see a lot.
When you walk into Latrobe Country Club, there's an immediate sense that you're stepping into a piece of living history. The decor is mostly untouched, maybe even for decades. It's a very homey feel. There's a case with Arnie's silver and crystal trophies off to one side. Photos adorn the walls, with his greatest moments hanging alongside his ordinary ones. There's an authentic 1970s teal leather lounge set just behind the bar where he would entertain guests. And downstairs, in what's the grill area, there's bright orange and green leather wrapped hardwood chairs and tables to welcome guests. There's even one chair at the door near the men's locker room that has a small plaque inscribed on it. It's, of course, where Arnie himself sat with his friends, chatting up each and every person that walked by. There's no fancy redesign, no multi-million-dollar renovation, but it doesn't have that old, tired feel either. Instead, it feels like you've stepped into a classic movie set, but one that you feel very comfortable in. It feels iconic, and it feels special. So I asked the guys for their take.
Yeah, it's kind of all reflective of his family, and like Don said, they valued family and they valued, their relatives and their past, and they kept that here and wanted that to be a part of it. And I think that's what makes Latrobe special. It's kind of a walk back when Mr. Palmer, was in his prime and his family was here, and it's a family-oriented atmosphere.
His family, his friends, I think. A crystal chandelier and a gold. Whatever, it doesn't make a great club. What makes a great club is people, staff, members, connection between members. And I think what Latrobe has is it doesn't have the crystal chandelier, never will have the crystal chandelier, and that makes it unique and special.
There's an incredible amount of Mr. Palmer's memorabilia here in Latrobe, over 10,000 pieces that were all carefully cataloged after his passing. More than just golf memorabilia, Arnie's collection includes photos, autographs, and gifts from just about every president and every celebrity in the last few decades, and so much more. I was here for the Masters Sunday, and they found the shoes he wore, a bag he used, china from his Augusta dinner, and trophies commemorating each of his Eagles at Augusta. With such an immense collection, I asked John what his favorite piece of memorabilia is.
For one, you have the iconic tractor, the Pennzoil tractor. That's always a big thing when people come here to visit Latrobe and Latrobe Country Club. That's the one thing they always ask: where's the tractor at?
Tell me the story for people that don't know the story of the tractor.
Where's it at? Well, he was an advocate. What will be the word for Pennzoil? He was the
Spokesperson
for Pennzoil, and on many commercials with Pennzoil. And that tractor was in a lot of the commercials, and that was a tractor that his father drove around when he was the head superintendent greenskeeper here. And so it's been around the club for a long time. It's a special thing for people to come out and see. We actually put it on number 1 tee for our outings, and it's a really good spot for pictures because people, it's just kind of that one thing that they want to see when they come to Latrobe. So
Nice.
Today was the Masters, and John and Matt, our head golf professional, went into the closets and unearthed some wonderful memorabilia to show our members. And what's unique about Latrobe is our members get to see this every day, and I think sometimes I don't know if they appreciate what they're surrounded by, but we pulled out some things today that were really neat.
it was 1957 when he won the par 3 contest, and we had a silver platter that was given to him for winning that. And then there was a couple other things. We had some crystal from all the eagles he made at the Masters.
Cool.
And then also
How about those shoes? Shoes?
The shoes we brought out from the time period when he was playing in the Masters back then. So a lot of
Even had
neat
his
things.
bag.
Yeah.
I saw, and what's cool, it kind of goes to what you said, Don, is you had his bag from one of the times you played at the Masters there, and actually one of the members wanted to see his 1-iron. They just pulled it right out of the bag and handed it to him. It's not like it's behind a glass case or anything.
No, it's again an authentic experience that I think. I mean, I would hope that Mr. Palmer would be pleased that his legacy gets taught to children, gets taught to people my age and younger through actual seeing things and not just seeing pictures or seeing a movie.
The staff tells me that Arnie loved to experiment. Latrobe was where he did much of this. And I learned how he had a workshop filled with clubs and parts, and he was always testing. He often carried a second bag on his cart, and it was filled with no less than 10 drivers alone. Here's John and Don on Arnie's legacy of innovation.
He loved to tinker with clubs. So when he came over, he would always pull something out and say, "What do you think about this? I'm looking at this, and I wrapped my club this way, different grip wrap here, and I did something to the head."
Yeah.
So he would want somebody to grab their club and take a look at it.
That's really cool.
Gabe, John's talking about Mr. Palmer tinkering with clubs, but really Latrobe was where some of his best thinking got done. I mean, a man who was an innovator. He developed IMG with Mr. McCormick, the idea of a celebrity as a brand. Right. He created the Golf Channel. He created the wing of the Citation 10. That takes a lot of thinking to come up with stuff like this. And I would hope that, kind of the beauty and the peace of Latrobe, it's a good place to think.
As I toured the club and spoke with staff, each had so many personal stories to tell me about Arnie. Most revolve around what a relaxing and homey environment Latrobe is.
In the last 7 years or so, when Mr. Palmer would just go down to the driving range tee and he just relax and take a nap there after a lunch or something, just to kind of to get away and relax. It was just kind of a peace place for him, I believe. Place of peace.
It's very serene out there, and I was out there just at sunset, and a nice little wind coming through the hills, because we're in like not exactly a valley, but we're in like the foothills of the Appalachians here.
We're the foothills of the Appalachians, and some unique weather some years, but we're hoping for a beautiful sunny summer. And people can come and they can stay at Latrobe Country Club. We have some houses. In fact, Gabe, you're staying in one of the houses this week. People can come and be part of Latrobe and be treated like a member just by staying in the house. It's kind of a neat getaway, and close to a lot of stuff. The Banana Split was created in Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
Oh my goodness! And I heard that the first professional football game was played here or something.
Yeah, and we're the what is it? The summer home of the Steelers, actually.
Yeah. Steelers training camp is right here in Latrobe at St. Vincent College. Yep.
That's neat.
So having spent time at both Arnold Palmer properties, Bay Hill and now Latrobe, I'm fascinated by the level of hospitality that each and every staff member exudes. I asked Don why the Palmer family culture is different.
I heard something the other day that somebody had stayed in a 5-star hotel, $600 a night plus type thing, and they said, it was a perfect stay, except for the fact that it didn't feel like, it felt like somebody read a book on how to service customers, and that's how they were treated.
Yeah.
And it wasn't genuine and it wasn't authentic. And I think, to me at least, what drew me to the brand and what drew me to come from Riviera Country Club to come back to Florida and come to Latrobe was that this is real life. This is genuine. I mean, the people do it not because it's step 5 of a 10-step process. They do it because that's the way you're supposed to treat people, and that's the way you're supposed to interact with somebody. And if something goes right, you take the compliment and you smile and you look the person in the eye, and if there's something wrong, you do everything within your power to fix it.
Yeah. And I love that brand is kind of pervasive here in Latrobe. For instance, even if you look at the menu in the dining room, I had chicken noodle soup, which was amazing, actually. I don't know what got me to order that, but I'm glad I did. And you have meatloaf on the menu and things that are just, it's like comfort food. That's great.
It was funny. Recently, we had some high-powered executives from, quote, unnamed company, and the reason that they didn't go to the chain steakhouse or they didn't go to the restaurant in town was that they wanted a unique experience, and they got it. They got home-cooked meatloaf the same way that Mrs. Palmer had told the chef to make it, and they got soup made from scratch and not from a can, and it
shows. Your chef even bakes his own bread, I guess. What's your favorite thing on the menu, John?
I'm a big fan of the meatloaf. I really am, and honestly, I had it down at Bay Hill as well. That's how much of a fan I was.
Is it the same? Is it pretty much the same recipe?
It's pretty close. Yep, it's very similar. Yep,
that's really cool.
By the way, just for the record, John weighs about 110 pounds, so he's not eating the meatloaf. He's not eating the meatloaf, says the heavyset guy across the table.
That's not true.
And that's the perfect example of the feeling that you get when you visit Latrobe. It's a warm, inviting place to let your guard down, turn your cell phone off, disconnect, but connect with others around you. You'll feel like you're with family. That's going to do it for this episode of Private Club Radio. I'll catch you back next week. And until then, here's to your membership success.
Private Club Radio is brought to you by Concert Golf Partners, helping to preserve and enhance private golf and country clubs. Concert Golf has the capital, expertise, and private club hospitality experience to help upscale private clubs achieving long-term success and membership growth. For 25 years, Concert Golf has allowed private club members to focus on simply enjoying their club. Visit concertgolfpartners.com to learn more about the recapitalization process.